Well, hey there, how you doing? Dave Fennoy here, another Wednesday, and here we are with another Ask Dave Fennoy Anything, because it is 6 p.m. Pacific right here on Facebook Live. So, how's everybody doing? Once again, it's just you and I, and I'm in my alternate ego this time of year as Black Santa. Got my Black Santa hat on. And I had a couple people, I was wearing this the other day, and somebody came up to me, oh man, that is the best Santa hat. Where did you find that Santa hat? It's got to be someplace. Do I have to go to the hood? Do I have to? No, Amazon. Yeah, it was available on Amazon. Anyway, pop in, say hello when it's just you and I. Get a little more chance to recognize and say hello to folks. So pop in, say hello, and remind you that all the Ask Dave Fennoy Anythings live on my YouTube channel, which is Dave Fennoy Voiceover Training. And if you're interested in voiceover training with me, you can pop by my website, davefennoy.com. And yes, it is Christmas time, so we are having a holiday sale and pretty good discounts. Well, let's say hello to some folks here. Who do we have? Villa Rosa Forte. Hi, Dave. It's short and sweet. Well, hello to you. And Grace Newton, always lovely to see you, Grace, from Raleigh, North Carolina. And Michael Glover. Well, wouldn't be an Ask Dave Fennoy without a visit from Michael Glover. Hey, Dave, I'm here on time sipping some holiday wine. Ask me anything. Well, you know, I don't know if I should ask you anything right about now. How much of that holiday wine have you had? Let's say Donabelle Pastrana Boone. Hi, Dave. Well, how are you? Good to see you again. I remember you from, I think it was last week. Yeah. Well, let me jump into a little business. We'll come back and say hello to some folks in just a little bit. You might have noticed here in the background this book. And, well, let me pull it up here. Yeah, there it is. And there's me holding it with a big smile. Marvel Avengers Black Panther War for Wakanda, the art book. And I bring it up because Amazon just delivered to me 5 of them. And the reason I bought 5 is because I was asked by the producers, Marvel, to write the foreword for the book. So if you buy this one and you flip through to that page where someone writes something about how wonderful the book is, why you should be reading it, so forth and so on. Well, this time it's me. And I only wish my mom and dad had lived to not only see me have a great career, actually they did see that, but that I'm getting to be literary and write forwards for books. It's an amazing thing. Let's see, stop by here and see Terry Briscoe. How you doing, man? Hey Dave, hey ADFA fam. You know, I gotta learn to say that. You know, I say Ask Dave Fennoy Anything, but it's ADFA or ADFA. Which is better, ADFA or ADFA? I don't know, something. Anyway, let's talk about some other things that are going on. I want to bring up NAVA, the National Association of Voice Actors. We're open for business. And it's such a wonderful thing. And I want a big pat on the back to all the people who really put it together. Tim Friedlander, my yeoman duty. And NAVA is a nonprofit association created to advocate and promote the advancement of the voice acting industry through action, education, inclusion, and benefits. And NAVA is a place, and going to be even more so a place where voice actors can go for support, for learning, and we have available access to health care. Now, there's some of us have been in the union for a long time and make enough money every year that we get a very discounted but very good health care plan. Not so much if you're not in the union and not making enough money to qualify. Well, that has changed. If you are a member of NAVA, you have access to health care, and it's a pretty good plan. All right. What else is going on? Oh, yes. So you can go to, where is it? navavoices.org if you'd like to sign up. And guess what's coming up next week? That's VoiceOver Career Expo 2022. It's taking place Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And on Sunday, of course, the Sovus Awards. And, excuse me, little frog in my throat. The Sovus Awards on Sunday, among all the other wonderful people I will be presenting. Not sure what I'll be presenting, but some hardware to somebody. And on Saturday, it's going Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. On Saturday, I will be there. First, I'll be doing Atomic Coaching with Mark Preston and Vicky Tessio. We'll be talking about coaching, careers, how to get agents, that kind of thing. Also, a little later on in the day, trailers for movies and video games. I'll be leading a panel there, and then narration for film and television with old friend of mine, Trish Hicks, and the wonderful Debbie Harada. So if you are in town, you can probably still get tickets. This is one of the to-go conventions for voice actors. VO Atlanta has been standout. This has been standout. Mavo's a good one as well. But one of the things I like about that's VoiceOver, there's always something new. They're always on the cutting edge. And where they used to be one day, it's now 3 days. And it's just going to be a jam-packed full of information. So well, let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah, let's talk about VoiceOver training with me. You see the little QR code there? You can put your phone right up to there, and you can get all my information, including my website, to get to Study VO, the Study VO tab on the website, so you can, sign up and get some coaching, which is at a bargain right now. And because we had a few problems when I first set it up, see, I thought I could set it up myself, and I went into my Bookio, and I did the things I thought I needed to do, and of course it backfired, and I had to get my IT helper to help me and fix it. Well, now it's fixed, so just so you know. All right, well, let's say hello to a few other people. There's Pamela Tanzi, love you, girl. Love the hat, Dave Fennoy, right back at you. And Theo Mezzacampo, we were just working together today. And a hello to Jim Frank. I gave him a hello. He just gave me a hey. And Jeremy Adams, howdy, Dave. Terry Briggs, a real regular. Dave, could you go into what the main difference is between how you would approach trailer versus promo reads? Okay, let's talk about that a little bit. When we think of trailers, we think movie. When we think of promos, we typically think television shows. Now, a lot of dramatic television shows, the reads are very similar to the trailer read, but the trailer read is usually a little more here, where the promo read could be here. And there was a time you really thought in terms of movie trailers, dramatic TV promos, and comedy TV promos. But the landscape of television now has a little bit of everything. So the market is much more open to a wider variety of voices and kinds of voices and women's voices. When I got in the business in the promo world, it was only 11% of the jobs were going to women. Now it's a lot better. I don't think it's quite 50%, but it's a lot better than it was then. And with the kinds of specialized cable channels and apps that we have now that are targeting smaller and smaller groups of audiences. There's just a variety of jobs for a variety of voices in the promo world. All right. Janice Johnson Hunter. Well, hello there, Janice. How are you? My buddy Randy Morrison. Howdy, Grace and Terry. Good to see you here. What, Randy? No hello for me. It's just for the audience, not me. Let's see. Michael Glover, do you acting coaching? Sip. Okay, that's right. You got the wine now. I don't know. Grace Newton, likewise. Actually, one of the things I love are the conversations that go on between watchers, viewers, while I'm running my mouth here. Luc de Villard, bonjour, ça va? Well, hello there, Funky Funk Santa. Okay. I've never seen the word funky before. Funk, definitely. But I'm going to take it because it's French. And you were saying it probably with a French accent. Well, hello there, Funky Funk Santa. Ça c'est bon. Formidable. And I just never get to do enough French accents. And Rich Hoff Jr., ahoy, folks. Now, I had some other things to talk about, so let's get on those. And I want we need some questions here. What's going on in your world? I was having a conversation with one of my students today, and they were feeling a little low about their career. They're not where they want to be yet, and they've been doing this. They've been knocking on the door for a little while, and part of the conversation with them was that at some point, you have to take the leap of faith. At some point, you have to go ahead and get your demos done or get a demo done. Do not wait for perfection. You're going to come to a place where it's a jump-off point, and it's good enough. It's professional enough. It's you enough that you should make that demo, and I'm going to advise against doing it yourself. I also had a student that spent a lot of years producing radio and other things, and has been doing his own demos. I didn't get a chance to listen to them, but if they are good, they are the exception to the rule. They're not the rule. You look at what it costs to get a demo done. Average cost is about $2,500. I know it's a lot. But if you try to go the bargain route, chances are it's not going to work for you, and you'll just have to do it again. And so that $700 or $800 or $1,000 or $1,500 that you spent on the demo that doesn't work, you'll have to spend again, plus what you really needed to have paid in the first place to get a demo that is going to work for you. I promise you, the demo that lands an agent, that lands auditions, if you're doing your own self-promotion, that's the demo you want, not the one that you go, well, I don't know, it's kind of, did you do this yourself? That's not what you want. Let's see, Jeremy Adams, do you think it's worth it to invest in an accent demo, Dave? You know what? It depends on how well you do accents. If you're that person that can knock off 12 or 15 accents, maybe not even that many, maybe only 10, then maybe yes. There are some people out there who are expert in a wide variety of accents, and that's somebody that just about any animation, commercial, video game company would like to have on hand, be able to call on in a pinch. So, yeah, just like if you're somebody that does great creature voices, you could do just creature voices and have a demo on your website, so people understand that that is something that you do. All right. Grace Newton. It's been suggested that I get a jingle demo recorded, as I'm also a singer and have already been paid for doing 2 jingles. Does anyone come to mind as far as a producer goes? You know what? I wish I had more information on that. Back when I had a better singing voice, I sang a few jingles. I think years and video games have kind of stolen some of my singing ability. But that's a very tough market to crack. You know what? I shouldn't say that. It's a market I don't know. It was just by chance that I did any. And the people who are usually singing jingles are people who they are singers. A lot of the folks that you see as backup singers to your stars, great, great singers in their own right, and those are usually the people who are in the flow that they get those kinds of jobs. So what you might want to do is get in touch with some backup singers and ask them about jingle singing. I think that might be your best bet. Michael Glover. Oh boy, the wine is there. It wasn't me. It was the keyboard. The holiday wine had nothing to do with it, I think. I was trying to ask you, do you offer acting coaching? Well, of course I offer acting coaching, but it's specialized acting coaching for voiceover. One of my pet peeves is when people say, so is voiceover like real acting, man? Or is it like regular acting? Few things stick under my craw more than that. It is exactly acting. It's just nobody sees you, which is why when you're behind the microphone with words on a page, your body has to be moving. You have to imagine what that scene might be. When we're talking video games especially, what are you reacting to? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you doing? Who are you talking to? What's that relationship? Envision the scene. Do you start sitting down and stand up? Are you walking? Are you fighting? Are you waking up from a bad dream? What are you, where are you? What are you doing? Bring the physicality of that. Yes, your physicality will be truncated because you have to stay on mic. But this is the exhaust of the acting engine. It's all those other things. One of the things that holds us back very often is we're trying to say the words in such a way that we give them meaning as opposed to reacting, thinking, feeling. You don't, how am I going to say this? Where am I going to pitch my voice? What words am I going to hit and pause on? Where am I going to put these pauses? What words are going to be special when you're just talking to somebody? You never do that. So don't expect your characters to do that. And once again, I think some of the best training for, say, commercial voiceover work is video game work, because you get to learn to be an actor. You are reacting and thinking, the inner dialogue of your character. I always say, replace your inner dialogue, that inner dialogue that's listening and judging. Oh boy, here comes that word. Oh no, gee, did I do that right? Blah blah blah. All those judging voices. Let go of those and allow the inner dialogue of your character to interplay with the words on the page. I promise you, it'll work. Oh, Randy Thomas. Woohoo! Hi, Dave. Happy holidays to you and Mo. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Hope your world is wonderful. As if it wasn't. It has to be. Marlene, what's going on? Hi, Dave. I see you next week at the Voiceover Career Expo. That is right. You will see me there, Miss Fireson Cooley. And let's see who else is here. Got Terry. I bet you got a good question again. Do you recommend going with your bold choice in an audition first or your straight read? You know, it depends. Wait a minute. My head is getting bigger and pushing my hat off my head. I think it depends. I don't have a hard, fast rule for that. one of the things I will say is don't mess with the copy the first time through. Give them a read that is just what they wrote. Now, you can add, breaths and sighs and that kind of thing. But afterwards, if you can find some more truth in just altering a few little things here or there, do that as your second take. That is, I think, the safe thing to do. As your reputation grows, we're talking about a good reputation, and people are more willing to hear what you have to say, what you have to do, then you can make bolder choices earlier. Sometimes I will make really bold choices as my first take, and sometimes that's the only take. And it seems to work for me, but make sure your bold choice isn't too far outside of the box of what you're doing. I'm a little hesitant to say, yes, do the bold choice, because your definition of bold and mine may be different. And I definitely know there are people out there whose definition of bold is, I'm just going to do what I want to do and forget what they're asking for. Arturo Valentino. Hey, Dave, season's greeting from Barbados in the West Indies, and right back at you. Always enjoy your live streams. Arturo, it's good to know you are there. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi, and a very happy holidays to you. All right, question. The body informs the voice. You've heard me say that a million times, have you not, Theo? Your body informs the voice. Well, voiceover 101. If you want to sound like you're smiling, put a smile on your face. Hey, how you doing? Now you just sound happy. And you don't have to do any more than that. You want to sound like you're a little more serious or just sit up a little bit straighter. I took this smile off my voice. I sat up a little bit straighter, and you're hearing something a little different in my tone. And if you wanted to sound like you were a little bit tired and whatnot, just let it slump on down. Let the voice come through constricted chords, and suddenly you have a whole other thing happening. And I didn't have to try to make my voice sound a particular way. My body made it sound a particular way. Are you drunk yet there, Michael Glover? Pre-life. Absolutely, pre-life. What are you reacting to? Maybe a couple little phrases. Don't leave them in on your audition. Cut out the little phrases. But create for yourself a pre-life. Always. What are you reacting to? A little trick I do sometimes. A sentence might be, let's see. Of course, can't think of anything right now. But I'll tell you what. Echo. Find what you're saying might be an echo. Are you going to assassinate the king? Somebody might have said, yes, I'm going to assassinate the king. Find what somebody might have said that fits with the thing that you're saying. Especially when there's no dialogue beforehand, you're just opening up with what you're saying. Make it a response to somebody, because it probably is. Linda Baker, I think singing, acting, even storytelling classes are helpful in VO. Absolutely. And I would say that we are all storytellers. Some of us are or have been singers. Some of us were singers. I'll put it that way. Michael Glover, thanks for the quick lesson. Excellent. Oh no, I'll send you the bill. Yeah, that'll be $175 for. I'm charging you for the whole hour. By the way, that reminds me. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I work as a coach. I always open up with what's going on. What's on your mind? Are you good? Are you bad? Questions, breakthroughs, disappointments. Because I want to hear a little bit about what's going on with you, not just with the things we're working on, but with your career in general, because that's the big picture that we're working on. Some technical things with me. I never charge you if you have to drop a lesson at the last minute. Why? Because all too often I have to drop a lesson at the last minute. I get gigs that, so such and such a client needs you in an hour. Can you do it? I had somebody booked for a class, and look, we got to reschedule this. It wouldn't be fair for me to charge you when you've got to take care of some life thing when I have to do it, and certainly will. So I never charge you for missing a lesson at the last minute. And I record all our lessons, all the video lessons. Now, there was a time that sometimes people would come to my house. We don't do that anymore, thanks to the pandemic. And I actually think it's better in terms of private lessons to be on Zoom. I get you in your studio. I'm here sitting at my desk, and I can see your body language, what you're doing, hearing what you're doing, and you get a video of that 50 minutes after we've done them. So you can get to go back and see some of the things that maybe you couldn't pay quite as much attention to in the moment when your brain is, what did he say? Do I have to do this? When you're trying to remember everything. And gee, what was that read like? He said I was making the words precious. What does he mean? Well, you'll get a chance to hear exactly what I mean. And sometimes I will echo back to you what I heard, and then kind of what I want to hear. And what I mean by that is not necessarily, you don't have to do my read. Generally, what I'm looking for is to find the you in your read. And sometimes we're too busy trying to be something else or make the word special. And you're going to go a lot further just giving an honest read, just letting it come from here and here without worrying about what does it sound like here. The question you want to ask yourself is, do I believe this? Do I believe this character? And that's across the board, every genre. Do I believe this character? If you can honestly say yes, good. But I bet a lot of times you're going, well, it's kind of sort of what I wanted, but it's not really, what do I have to do? And I help you find that what you have to do to make those reads genuine and real and conversational. All right. Luc de Villars, once again. I know you're not a fan of making audiobooks, but how about having some music on our headphones during the recording of it? Instrumental, of course. I don't think it's possible to be focused if you're listening at past the P's during a love scene in the book. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. You know, there are times that I am working and they are playing music in the background. Sometimes you're doing a narration and they want you to see and or hear the music that's going, or commercial, and they want you to hear the music that's going. I know a number of people that like to record with something in their headphones that hopefully doesn't bleed into their microphones. Music can help you get into the feel. Often, especially with commercials and narration, they will send the music that's going to be playing underneath, and to give you a chance to listen to it, because every piece of music is going to put you in a certain mood, a certain feel, and if that's the feel they're looking for, that can be great. Good question. Jeremy Adams, hey Dave, got a bunch of demos that I'm proud of. New website, feeling ready. Would you recommend reaching out to bigger agents in LA area, or is there a better roundabout way to get to them? You know what? Go direct. Something a salesperson told me a long time ago, Jeremy, is you're going to work as hard for the $100,000 client as you are for the $10,000 client or the $500 client. Actually, this was a sales guy when I was in radio. And as a matter of fact, you may work even harder for the guy that's paying you the least because they have the least experience with that thing that you're trying to do. You're trying to get the barbecue joint or the barber shop that's never advertised before and is worried about every nickel and doesn't understand the idea of frequency and setting up your commercials to hit at a certain time to catch a certain audience, and that it needs to be consistent so that they hear it, because people aren't just going to hear the commercial one time and then go buy it. It has to be something they hear from time to time. Doesn't mean you have to advertise all year long, but it needs to come back and come back and come back. If you're really paying attention to advertising, you realize that you'll hear something for a long time, or for a while, just say a while, and then it'll kind of go away, and then it'll be back. But we all buy things that are advertised. Advertise toothpaste, advertise clothes, advertise bed sheets, advertise shoes. We all buy advertised things. Studies have been done. Companies that are very successful, when they cut their advertising, their sales go down. So, I hope that answers that. Go for the big guns. You know, that New York, that LA, that Chicago agent that is dealing with AAA commercials, games, cartoons, narrations. They've been in the game a long time. They know the market. They have contacts and a quick understanding of you're going to be able to work for them or not, or work with them or not. So yeah, definitely go for the big guns, just as you would some of the smaller agencies in smaller regions. And I say go for those as well, because they're going to have some clients that the bigger agents don't have. You know, when you're talking about stores in a particular region, say around Cleveland in the Midwest. There's stores they have there they don't have in other places. There's stores around Atlanta they don't have in other places. There's stores around Dallas or New Orleans where, now, these aren't the hugest markets in the world. We're really looking at New York, Chicago, LA as the biggest markets. But they're good markets. San Francisco, great market. And as the world is getting smaller thanks to the internet, shoot for the big guys and shoot for the medium-sized guys, all at the same time. All right. Janice Johnson Hunter, I purchased an MK416 mic, but not sure about it, if I'm supposed to use a pop filter. I use the foam screen that came with it. Please advise. I'm not a fan of the foam screen that comes with it. That is less for you in popping and more for if you're in a situation where it's windy. The microphone that I'm using right now, this is it's a shotgun, but it's not a 416. My 416 is in the booth. But I have a pop filter here, and I forget what this thing is called. Wait, I'll just pull it off of there for a minute. But this is a very popular one, and it works well. TheHookStudios.com, this is their pop filter for 416. Yeah, I would get one of these. They're a little more expensive. This is the 3. Is this a 3 or the 2? Well, this is the 2. In my studio, I have the 3. But it has 3 screens on the one in there, 2 on here. This is a great pop filter, and it slides right on your mic like that. I'll slide on there. Is it in yet? Oh, yeah, there we go. Slides right on like that. And there's some other brands that do the same thing. But once again, I'm not a fan of the foam. It will change the sound ever so slightly. That's usually more for wind. So, but you got a MK416, good for you. All right. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Linda Baker. She says, you are one cool-looking Santa tonight. Well, ho, 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 baby. And let's see. Donabelle Pastrana Boone. Booked my first job. Everybody give her a hand. Woohoo! When should I start marketing myself? After I have 3 to 5 bookings under my belt, how do you suggest I market myself? You should start marketing yourself before you have any gigs. So now is the time. Matter of fact, you're late. Start marketing yourself. Now, I'm going to want you to write me a note here after this. Define for me what you mean by marketing. You booked your first job. How did you book your first job when you say you haven't started marketing yet? How did you find that client? How did that client find you? Did you have an agent? Did you market yourself to agents? And an agent sent you an audition. You did the audition and were booked that way. Was this a friend that, my friend Donabelle does voiceover, I'll hire her. How did this job come to be? Rich Hoff Jr., when practicing, my voice cracks when I raise my voice. Well, you're finally at that age. I don't talk so much during the day, so why is that happening? Is it voice weakness, poor control? It just might be something in your voice. I find that sometimes there's gunk in there. A little earlier had a little frog in the throat. Takes me a little longer to have my voiceover ready in the morning. Having a few years on me. Like everything else, your voice gets older too. There's a reason that when you're 60, you can't play 20. Your voice has changed. It's a lot easier to be 20 and kind of mess up your voice and make him sound really old than when you're 60 and try to make your voice sound young, man. And if it's something that hurts or really is getting in the way of a lot of things, you might want to have your voice looked at. But cracking voices happens with a lot of people, and sometimes it's quite charming. All right. Once again, one of the things I love about this audience, Terry Briscoe, is congratulating Donabelle on her gig. And a question, something I have trouble with because I don't have a previous background in acting, is when I'm really into a scene, talking like I do in my regular life, that's quite a bit less articulate. Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. When we are a spokesperson, perhaps we're going to be a little bit more articulate. When we are doing the right kind of narration, perhaps we're a little bit more articulate. If we are doing children's books, often we are a bit more articulate because we want them to learn to speak correctly. I know in some of the children's work that I do, they want you to make sure that you're saying everything correctly and clearly and articulating. But when you're playing a character, how does the character articulate? If you're playing a character that, say, maybe is not the most educated person in the world, and that's the way he talk like that, man, because, that where he come from, man, that's all he know. Then that's what's bringing the truth of that character. And then you may be speaking as someone who is much more articulate. Doesn't mean you're going to pronounce your words, but you might be that person that is coming from a more educated, highbrow school of speaking. Bring the truth to the character, whatever that character is. I really believe that the written word and the spoken word are two different languages. The writer is doing the very best they can, more often than not, when writing for the spoken word to be as real as he can be. Often they will misspell words instead of writing going to, gonna, yeah instead of you. A lot of times they're trying to help us out with that. Um, I think of reading Zora Neale Hurston and how she would write in the patois, the language of poor black folks, Southern black folks that she was writing about. And it could be anything. It might be, phonetically how somebody with a heavy Chinese accent or Italian accent or French accent or whatever accent you can think of. But we have to translate the written word into the spoken word. And we don't speak as clearly as writers write. We don't speak word to word. We speak in phrases. And one of the biggest problems you have with a reedy read, let me pull that back up, Terry, which is something I have trouble with because I don't have a previous background in acting, is when I'm really into a scene, talking like I do in my regular life, and that's quite a bit less articulate. But I can bet that sometimes that's exactly what's called for. What I just did there reading, that was very reedy. Sometimes I have trouble because I don't have a previous background in acting when I'm really into a scene. I'm talking like in my regular voice, my regular life, and that's quite a bit less articulate. Well, wasn't that a little more real the way I said that, as opposed to the way it was written on the page? Because I'm reading the phrases, not the words. Something I have trouble with, because I don't have a previous background in acting, is when I'm really into a scene, like I do in my regular life, and it's quite a bit less articulate. Now, I'm not saying that was a great acting job, but you understood what I was coming up with there. All right, Grace Newton, what is your DAW of choice and why? Do you use different ones for different projects? I have two DAWs that I use. Twisted Wave, because I'm a Mac guy, is the one I use 95% of the time, if not 99% of the time. The other one is Pro Tools, which I used for years and years and years, and probably would have never switched from Pro Tools if there wasn't a period where Mac, iMacs, and Pro Tools just weren't talking. And I could not get the damn thing to operate all the time. You'd go for 5 or 10 minutes and it would crash. And you can't have that. And someone introduced me to Twisted Wave, which is made for voiceover and made for Macs. And it has never let me down. And for most of us doing voiceover, it's all we need. It's designed for us. Now, if you're trying to put music up underneath things and multi-voices and multi-tracks, Twisted Wave ain't going to help you. But that's why I keep Pro Tools, and from time to time, if I'm going to mix some music or some voices together or something, then I use that. But that's rare. That's very rare. All the DAWs sound the same. They're digital. There's no difference in how they sound. There may be some differences in the steps you take to set up a recording session and record and mix and those kinds of things and edit. Donna Bell, thank you, Terry Briscoe. I'm just helping everybody out with their little conversations here. Theodore Mezzacapo, the session playback is so helpful, which is why I record all my classes with people, all my coaching sessions, and send you the video, if not right after, later that day or the next day. Glenn Howard, every chance I get to have the opportunity to hear what the client has in mind for their music bed, I'll take it. Yeah, it helps. There's nothing that helps me more to find the soul of the read than having the music bed to read along to. Yep, I'll agree with that. And it used to be doing promos. You always had that. because you were always going into the station and you were recording to the music, the sound bites. You're fitting yourself in there, and you got the words on the page and what's happening on the screen going all at the same time. And it just helped you get into the feel of whatever it was. Now, more often than not, you're not hearing the music, you're not hearing the sound bites, you're seeing what the sound bites are. But you got 2.5 seconds for this line and 3 seconds for that line, and away you go. A little bit different nowadays. Kevin Genus, billboards you drive by cause action after 40. Yeah, there you go. Dave, is there such a thing as a dark animation demo, evil characters? If that's the kind of work I'd like to do. You know what? I don't see why there couldn't be. All it takes is somebody to come up with a new idea, put it out there, see if it works or not. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't work. Or I wouldn't be surprised if it did work, is what I'm trying to say. Go ahead. We are so specialized in demos now. You can have, just in commercial, you can have a regular commercial demo. You could have a character commercial demo. Talking about narration, there's medical narration, and there's this narration and that narration. You can have tons of demos. Just like we have such a wide variety of radio stations, of television stations and cable channels, and the apps of different stations, we can have more demos. Now, demos cost money, but if you can market to a group that is into the thing that you're doing, that thing that you go for it. Go for it. I don't think it's a bad idea. Okay. Cecil Archibald Jr. Greetings, Dave. Well, greetings, Cecil. Our drunk is back. We'll just read what he's got to say here. Oh, hi, Michael Glover. Hearing the advice on Ask Dave Fennoy Anything is cool, but I think at this time I will be needing a full Fennoy acting spanking. Once I pay for Christmas, I will get back to you. Please don't charge me for tonight. Where's the love? Want some wine? I'll have some a little bit later. I got it upstairs. Oh, all right. Janice Johnson saying, thanks, Hook Studio Pop Filter. Yep. Okay, Donna Bell, now you're answering the question. I'm only on the play-to-pay sites. I've said it before, not a fan of the pay-to-play sites. They are a feature of the landscape of voiceover. A lot of people are making them work very well for themselves. If I were in your position now, I'd probably be using them a lot right now to get a handle in and trying to transition to agents and other ways of finding work. But if you are there, I hope it's Voices123, not Voices.com. And yes, you can definitely start marketing. As a matter of fact, you should be marketing on the pay-to-play sites. You should be driving them to your website. Excuse me, little burps there. You should be driving clients to your website so that they can get an idea who you are. Even your pay-to-play clients on their website, your demos, your own website, the right words describing the kinds of work that you do and the feeling people get from hearing you. You want those things so people will find you. And since you're working, and since you're there, and since you have demos, start right now marketing yourself to agents. And as I mentioned before, it's just as hard to get a small agent as a big agent. They're just as easy to get a big agent as a small agent. So shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars. Jeremy Adam, he's right. Rich, a number of people I know pretty well have voice cracks that just happen. No explanation for it, it's just who they are. They usually play it up because they know it's entertaining and endearing. Yeah, if that's a feature of your voice and you can get it to happen all the time, well, it's not, I'm trying to make it happen there. But if it's just something that happens all the time, yeah, it's you. Probably happens when you're talking to people all the time, and maybe you don't pay attention to it because you're not reading something then and thinking, oh, I have to make this different than me. All right, and little Theodore Mezzacapo, congrats, Donabelle. Another thing I love about what we do here is support one another. We are blessed to have the very unique community that we have. Let's see, Jeremy Adams, haha, Dave, your educated highbrow example very much reminded me of Frasier. Oh, if I could still sing, I'd do his theme song. Luc de Villar, boy, you're up late over there in France. By the way, do you remember when I've said I would love to work with Bruce Campbell? Well, it's done. We are both on a game called Dead by Daylight. Although my character is very sexy in the game, and I get some very charming and turn on the heat kind of messages, popularity is scary, sir. You know, it can be. It can be. Yeah, I understand. And it's one of the interesting things about video game work is because you're working by yourself 90% of the time. No, take that back. 99% of the time. A lot of times you have done a game, you don't know who's on it other than yourself, unless you were going into a studio someplace and you passed your buddies as you were coming or going. Usually you don't find out till the game comes out. Oh, wow, I'm on there with so-and-so and so-and-so and so. And then you go, hey, man, we're on the same game together. Really? Oh, man, okay. It's that kind of business in video games. You're 99% of the time you're working by yourself. All right, Donna Bell again. Actually, can we do an evaluation session? I would love to get an animation demo done. LOL, you'll hear why when you hear my voice. Care Bear meets Demonic Witch. Care Bear meets Demonic Witch. Wow, an elevator pitch. I think that's my first elevator pitch here. Nice, nice. Yeah, just pop by the website, book half an hour, and we'll get it done. Donna Bell Pastana Boone says, thank you, Theo Mezzacapo. Oh, that's so nice. Michael Sessoms. Audacity is outstanding for multi-track mixing, mono for VO, though. Yeah, and Audacity is free, or as I say, the price is right. And I don't use Audacity because I'd like to be able to, if I've paid for something and it doesn't work, I can always go, hey, this doesn't work, fix it. If it's free, I can't just, hey, you guys got to fix this. Hello? Anybody there? But Audacity's been around a long time. It's worked very well for a lot of people. And once again, free. Nice tip, Michael Sessoms. Rich Hoff Jr., Facebook ads, Google AdSense. Can success be had without them to promote yourself? Like they're really expensive, man. Is word of mouth the best in this industry? Your voice is cracking, so's mine right now. I don't think you need to pay for Google AdWords and so forth. You just need to figure out what the right words are. What are people looking for? Casual, millennial, urban. There are words out there, and you can look at other people's sites, especially people who are working. How do they describe themselves? Find somebody that is your age, could be black, doesn't have to be. Similar voice print. You don't have the deepest voice in the world. You don't have a high voice. You have a very accessible, everyday guy voice. find some of those people who are working, and how do they advertise themselves? How do they describe themselves? And you want to look at their commercial, their narration, their animation, their video game. They may not have all of that. They may only have one or two things, or may have 5 or 6. But find out, look at how some other successful people who have some similarities to you are advertising themselves. What verbiage do they use? And I'm not saying to steal their logos or steal their sayings about themselves, but the words that you see they use to advertise who they are. Residuals for video games. Oh, you would bring that up, Terry Briscoe. We don't have residuals. We do get bonus payments depending on how well the game sells. So there is that. We had a very long, hard-fought strike a few years ago. One of the longest strikes SAG-AFTRA has ever had, to get games to become union. And we won the strike, but it wasn't not a complete and total win. Some things, without being codified, have changed. One of those things is vocal health. I remember losing my voice after a 5-hour shouting session in Huttese. That cost me some gigs and probably a bunch, because I had to cancel something and the guys never hired me again. But we have directors now and producers that are looking out for your voice. You can get a break every 20 minutes instead of every hour if you're doing vocally stressful things. It's not codified in the union, but they understood that it was something we needed, and if we're going to continue to work, it was in their best interest to help us with that. They really fought hard not to pay anything extra, but they did. So in subsequent years, because of people like me who were out on strike for that thing, people who are coming down the road now and years from now will make more money. It's kind of like where sitcom actors were in the 60s, where the shows were making a lot of money. They weren't making nearly the money they should have been making. And the unions fought, and now people on sitcoms are making a ton of money. So the VO business for video games is still pretty young. It's just been since the late 90s that you started seeing VO happen in video games. And it's the biggest business in entertainment, more money than music and movies combined, about $250 billion a year now. It'll probably hit $300 billion next year. So yeah, we should be getting paid better. We should be getting residuals or bigger bonus payments. I'm sure that will come, but it's going to be a while. Let's see. Michael Glover, yes, a unique community. Holiday wine for everyone. Love you all. Good night. And he can say that, see, because he can't pour wine over the internet. Linda Baker, what are your thoughts on TikTok to promote voiceover career? I am seeing some creative reels lately promoting it. You know, I just had a conversation with someone about TikTok, because part of me is like, oh, geez, something else I got to do. And the other part is, you know what? This is where the world is. Perhaps my attitude should be, hey, let's get some TikTok stuff going here. I just have to figure out what to do with it. But yeah, I was looking at some voiceover things on TikTok. Some of my good friends are on there. And they're doing a variety of different things. There's some people that maybe none of us know, and maybe they don't really have a career and won't have a career, but they're enjoying doing some voiceover on TikTok and everything in between. So, yeah, I'm looking into it. Why not? Oh, Scott Chambers, what's going on, man? Love the hat. It's very festive. Good to see you, Scott. Um, Another guy I met early in his career, and man, he's just making it happen. Love to see that. Uh, is there a difference between full buyout versus in perpetuity? Well, no. Except a lot of times a full buyout, they know it's got a shelf life. It's going to last so long, or you're going to get paid. A full buyout might be more money than when they say in perpetuity. You want to strike that in perpetuity. If they're saying full buyout, find out what is the money. Bump it up. People need to understand there's a session fee and there's a usage fee. It doesn't pay to give up all your usage. It doesn't pay to take that session fee and then let somebody just use it forever. After you're gone, they're still using it. Oh, now it's just Michael Gulliver with nothing. I think the wine has taken its full effect. Let's see. Oh, boy, we're 7:01. Let's get out of here in a little bit. Theo Mezzacapo, TikTok has a great voiceover community. Highly recommend. And Theo, the things you can do with your voice, you could be doing those monster and crazy voices that you do on TikTok. And a lot of the people who are in the gaming business now are of the same age. They're going to college for video game development and whatnot. I bet a lot of them are on TikTok. I bet a lot of them are watching some of the voiceover people on TikTok as well as other game people on TikTok. So yeah, this is a place where to be discovered. You can't always go old school. People in my age group, we have to run as fast as we can to keep from falling too far behind. And I know too many people who have had successful careers that have waned because they decided to be curmudgeon. I'm not doing that. Why do I have to carry a phone around all the time? I remember people didn't want to get the cell phone, and careers went away. Didn't want to have a home studio, and careers went away. The world is not going to stop for you. All right, Luc de Villar, Sandman is here for me. Thanks for the wisdom and laughs. Bonne nuit, Monsieur Fennoy, and everyone. And bonne nuit. Merci. And with him saying goodbye, one more for Theo. That's exactly what I do. Lots of monsters and creatures. And Randy Morrison. Thanks, Dave. Fabulous advice as always. You rock. Thank you very much. Fun for me. I hope it's as much fun and informational. I hope I'm sharing some information, some thoughts that help you down your road on your voiceover journey. And I will see you next week. And once a reminder, coming up, let's see, just pull it up here. Yeah, Thursday, Saturday through Saturday, December 15th, 17th. That's Voiceover Career Expo. Can't recommend it enough. And then the Sovas Awards on Sunday. And I will see you next week. In the meantime and in between time, book something. All the best, everybody.